Vanessa Samora.
Raise your hand if you've lost one or both of the people that raised you. That's easily most of the room. My condolences for your loss. Thank you. I don't have to share with any of you what a profound and efficient teacher of life death can be. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and of course our already accomplished evaluation contestants. I'm not here to talk about death. I'm here to tell you about the plethora of gifts that I have received as the direct result of my mother's passing just 6 weeks ago. When she passed, she had suffered for several years with a progressive neurological disease. So I've had the comfort of realizing that she is at long last at peace. When the coroner came to remove her body from the house and take her to the mortuary, it felt like all of the oxygen in the house followed her stretcher out the door. And the three of us that were there with her on that day were left in this vacuum of sadness and disorientation and confusion about what on earth to do next. And it became clear quite soon that it was time to make that first initial round of phone calls. And of course that wasn't any easier. I remember toward the end of that, watching my brother on the phone with someone, and suddenly, Spirit came to me so clearly and so quickly and said, the house needs grounding. Make some food. So I started cooking. And not soon after, when the smells of the food started to fill the space between us, the most amazing shift in atmosphere happened, and this vacuum began to crack open. And what came spilling out were the most beautiful gifts. And the first one that was so undeniably present was laughter. And I'm not talking about an awkward laughter of crossing paths in the doings of things, or a nervous giggle in response to some bizarre expression. I'm talking about big, deep, bellyful laughter, shared laughs, the kind that are so rare. And it was so big and enduring, this experience, that I had to take a step back within myself and question what was going on here with this experience of laughter and all the joy that was underneath it in the immediate wake of my mother's leaving. And it was then that it became clear to me that there were two gifts present here. The second one was freedom. At last, my mother was free from her suffering. At last, my mother was free from a body that could no longer provide her joy. And by association, we as her immediate family were free from the heavy blanket of helplessness that is inevitable when someone dear to you is struggling. It was not long after coming to clarity about the profound beauty of these gifts, which were bountiful in the room, that suddenly I became aware of a third gift that struck me with equal weight. And that was the experience of family. Sitting across from me was a brother I hadn't spent more than 3 hours with since I graduated high school in 1994. On the other side of me was my mother's aide, Bongi, who had been at my mother's side 24/7 for 4 years. I could look at her no longer as anything other than a sister. And this experience of family had such exquisite tenderness and such divine closeness as I watched these bonds be built and solidified in front of my eyes. I had a complete re-understanding and an entirely new experience of what family meant. In the several weeks since that day, these 3 gifts of laughter, freedom, and family have continued to present themselves in my life in such a wide variety of ways, through different people, in various places. They are fully present in my life. I wouldn't have had these gifts if it were not for my mother's passing. So in looking at these past 6 weeks, what becomes clear to me is that perhaps the greatest gift of death is a renewed understanding and a renewed willingness to embrace what is truly important in our lives. It is my hope that my recent loss can serve as a reminder to all of us to make time to prioritize that which truly matters. Mr. Prentice, Chair.